Hey there guys, what's up? Ragtter here, welcoming you back to the Pokémon trading card game online. Now today, I want to do something a little different. Normally I build my own decks, but I had quite the idea. I saw on the Pokemon.com website that they had a deck builder's guide, and one of the decks was for a Vespiquen deck. And this Vespiquen deck builds off of the Night March idea, where having Pokemon in your discard pile makes your attackers more powerful. And because I love Night March, I decided to build off of that. So I'm going to take the deck builder's deck list for a test drive here and now so you can see just how good their idea was. And in the future, I'll be building off of this deck list, tinkering with it in my own special way and making it my own. But for now, we are going with what the builder recommends, and we're going to see how it works out. Well, worked out. I have already had this game. I'm speaking to you from the future. So I decided to lead with Combee, because it's very easy to evolve this thing. I can actually search for Vespiquen with the level ball, and all it needs to attack is that double colorless energy right there. But I see that Yveltal EX, and I know I'm in a lot of trouble immediately, because those double colorless energies are going to turn my Combee into a sitting yellow bee. So as he puts a double colorless energy onto his Yveltal, I know I need to do something in order to set up my own attacker to be able to revenge KO this thing. So I go for the level ball, and instead of searching for Vespiquen, I search for a different Combee. I put a muscle band onto it, and I use my Professor Sycamore to toss my Professor's Perch Observations and my Lampent. You can't actually play the Lampents in this deck. I draw 7 cards, one of which is unknown, and by Unknown's ability, I play it, I send it to the discard pile, and I get to draw a new card. I play a Joltik and a second Combee just for insurance, just in case I need more attackers, and I use Battle Compressor first to look for the different Lampents I have in the deck, and then after the Lampents, I'll move on to the different priority targets, like my other Night March users, and then after that, it'll be the Unknowns. I toss a Joltik, 2 Lampents, that tells me that somewhere in my prizes I have more Lampents than I want, and I end my turn waiting for Combee to meet its gruesome fate. But that's not all that bad in this deck, because more Pokemon in the discard pile means more power for Vespiquen, and more Pokemon with Night March in the discard pile means more power for Joltik and for Pumpkaboo. Now I decided to go with Joltik because this Yveltal has an electric weakness. Again, all it takes is 2 double colorless energies. I use my Sycamore to toss the rest of my hand because I don't need them. And I get another Pumpkaboo in the discard pile. And I draw a Vespiquen. So now I evolve that up, and whenever I need it to, basically, I have that Vespiquen ready to storm the board. Now I use a level ball, mostly just to scout out what's in my deck, see what I can pull. I decide I'm going to take another Vespiquen to evolve this Combee, so that I have a little army of these things ready to rip my opponent to pieces. And with no cards left to really matter in this turn, I go for the Night March attack, I knock out the Yveltal, and I get 2 prize cards. So already I have stopped the Dark Rampage. My opponent decides to send out this Yveltal. I'm not entirely sure why, but apparently that Inkay is very important to his strategy. He gets a Dark-type energy, and I know he's going to knock out my Joltik with the Oblivion Wing. It's not that big of a deal. Joltik's job is kind of to go down. It gets as many KOs as it can, and then it faints. I mean, what more could you ask for a Pokemon with 30 HP? But hey, Joltik comes in and it gets the job it was set to do done. You can't fault it for that. So he gets a Dark Basic Energy, and at this point I can kind of tell that my aggression is paying off, because my opponent isn't taking very quick turns, he's putting a lot of thought into them, and I know I've kind of done my job right. Now it's time for Vespiquen to take the stage. Joltik has fainted, and I draw another Battle Compressor, so I'm going to be powering up Vespiquen to the next level. So again, we take a scour through the deck to see what we've got left. I pick a Pumpkaboo, a Joltik, I scan, and I, in the end, decide to toss out my last Pumpkaboo. I love Pumpkaboo so much. It's my favorite ghost-type Pokemon, but right now it is sacrificial fodder for Vespiquen. I use an Ultra Ball to toss my last Pokemon in my hand, and just some useless Hex Maniac that was, to get my Unknown out, so I can increase my hand size, not my sand size, and get another Pokemon in the discard pile. I take a look at my remaining cards in my deck, decide it's completely worth it to just toss the rest of these, And I get even more goodies. You can see your turns will take a long time if you use this deck. I decided to use the Battle Compressor first, so I can get rid of any remaining Battle Compressors that happen to be in the deck, and any remaining non-attacking Pokemon, that is to say, Vespiquen. And, not needing the Ultra Ball anymore, I toss that too. So now my deck is basically as thin as I need it to be. I used my Farewell Letter one last time to get another card. I now have all the energy I'll ever need, I've got all the damage I'll ever need, and Vespiquen lets it rip onto that poor Yveltal. Now my opponent brings in the Inkay, and he is faced with match point, decides to forfeit in the end. I get a tournament token. Forgot what that was for a second. Tournament ticket. And that was game. If you did enjoy that deck, I will be working with it some more. Like I said, I'm going to be customizing it to my own devices. But I will be leaving a deck list to the original deck in the description below, so you can check it out for yourselves. This is a pretty cheap budget deck. You can make this very easily. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like and leave a comment. Until then, take care and have a good one. Bye-bye!